Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1995's Species.
Gonna need a bucket and a mop for that wet ass pussy.
I said certified freak, 7 days a week.
Before we get started, if you would like to follow Corey or me on Twitter, you could follow me at Junior D's. You could follow Corey at Idle Poncho. And going back to the WAP of this movie.
The WAP of it all.
The WAP of it all. This movie should have been called Cock-Hungry Alien Looks for Human Semen.
You're goddamn right.
This movie stars Natasha Henstridge as Syl, Michael Madsen as Preston Lennox, the great Ben Kingsley as Xavier Fitch, Alfred Molina as Dr. Stephen Arden, and Forrest Whitaker as Dan Smithson. You could tell they mailed it in with his character just by his name, Dan Smithson.
Yeah, you go from Preston Lennox to Dan Smithson.
Dan Smithson. It was like with the town. Is he from the same town that Winona Ryder's from in Mr. Deeds?
The small town of Winchestertonville, Iowa.
The budget was $35 million. It made $113 million worldwide. And I'm sure
no joke.
Apparently not. Outside of the gratuitous nudity in this movie, I'm pretty sure everybody left pretty unsatisfied.
I feel so unsatisfied.
Unless you were going there for a good laugh.
Exactly. But this movie opens. They're at a U.S. government lab. There's a girl, which is Syl, is being observed in a glass enclosure. Xavier Finch is overseeing it from his little glass tower. They pump in cyanide to kill the girl. Finch has one lonely tear.
And Mouse, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
They pump in cyanide. She breaks out. Okay, I got questions from the fucking beginning. Did you just have regular, like, it wasn't even 2-pane glass. It was single pane glass to keep this alien human experiment thing in? She just jumps out of it. And this is like a U.S. government lab, protected. It's obviously protected because there's a whole military searching for her after she escapes.
Yes.
But her little enclosure is 30 feet from the front door? She just runs out the front door, hops on a train within 30 seconds. Yep. And then they're just they got the military combing out trying to find, she hopped on the train, you fucking morons.
A couple of trains came through here around about the time she escaped.
Yeah, you think?
A couple, just a few. By the way, Sir Ben is the worst project leader of any government project leader ever.
Yes.
It's horrendous.
But
his behavior throughout this whole movie is just, they have no idea. Here's a hot take for everybody just watching this. They had no idea what to do with any of these characters, except for the fact that 3/5 of them were horny as fuck throughout this whole movie.
Yes.
That's it.
That's what we call facts.
Yeah.
But she hops on this train as a girl. She's, 13-ish roughly. And she runs into a rapey bum and she murders him. She hops on another train, steals a bunch of food and cash. She keeps having these weird alien sex dreams, which she wakes up, shit's crawling under her skin, the worst CGI tentacles I have ever seen in my life. And then they come out of her body and put her in a cocoon.
By the way, speaking of alien sex dreams, did you notice this was Geiger, the same dude that did the Aliens?
No. I couldn't tell from all the... when she actually turns into the alien.
But hey, I never saw a xenomorph with tentacle nipples. So there was a little variation.
So alien sex dreams and tentacle nipples are a common occurrence throughout this movie. So the conductor comes in into her like little cabin in the train, and she finds the cocoon. Now, stop. What is it with directors or makeup artists, practical effects people, that every cocoon or scary thing has to look like a fucking vagina? Every one of them. In every one of these movies we've done, Poltergeist, The Closet, do they look like vaginas? No, but they kind of resemble scary vaginas. The conductor goes in, and then she sees this giant roast beef booger thing on the wall. She decides, like, I'm going to check it out. No, you're not. You're running away. But she decides to check it out and gets engulfed by the vagina on the wall. The team...
Roast beef booger thing is literally my Pornhub search history.
The lab and Finch gathers Dan Smithson, Preston, Dr. Arden, and Laura to help track Syl. Now,
you want to talk about a motley crew? What the fuck?
First of all, Preston, played by Michael Madsen, is the only qualified person to track down and kill Syl.
Let's just say I'm a freelance solution to some of our government's problems.
The Dan Smithson character is written so goddamn poorly.
I feel things deeply, that's all.
He's literally there for exposition purposes and to be able to explain away things.
That's great.
And fill plot holes throughout this whole thing, because he's a clairvoyant or whatever the fuck he is.
Yeah, he's an empath. He can feel other people's feelings. My thing with him is, you bring in Michael Madsen because he's a hunter.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't mean in like the traditional Billy Joe Bob kind of sense. I mean like CIA kind of assassin shit. But you're not bringing him in to just walk up behind the alien with the 38. He's supposed to track her, find her, kill her, right? He does none of that. Forrest Whitaker the whole time just goes, oh, she went that way. Oh, yo, she's over here. Oh, wait, I had too many Long Island iced teas. She's all over the place. I don't know. Yeah. Well, that's his whole character arc. It's so fucking you wasted so many great actors in this movie.
They're all great actors.
Wasted them. Yes. Even Natasha for her first role. This was fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
And you just left her to be titties.
You put Ben Kingsley in this goddamn thing, and I'm pretty sure, didn't he play Gandhi?
Yes.
You have Dan Smithson, who I will say his whole name throughout this review, by the way. But you have Dan Smithson in this, who literally throughout this whole movie, like he can feel things and he's got the feels and whatever. But he feels things, he senses things, he fucking sees things and doesn't say anything to anybody until it's too goddamn late throughout the whole movie.
I'm the weird one. I'm the strange one.
This motley crew gets on the train because, she escapes. Syl escapes. They get on the train and they walk in and they see the booger cocoon. And this is where you have Dan Smithson say the most fucking obvious shit in the fucking world. Like,
something bad happened here.
Get the fuck out of here with your bullshit. Oh, I can feel things. Yeah, I can see things too, Captain Obvious. Thanks for your input. Yep. So she gets off the train, she escapes. The first thing she does is buy a fucking wedding dress. Cut that scene out of this bullshit. Just have her go to the motel and get a fucking room, with the money she stole and the credit cards and whatever.
Well, hey, now she's had her first cycle. She's a woman now, and everybody knows, especially when it's written by a man, that a woman, as soon as she has her period, immediately goes, I want a baby and get married.
The crew then puts on their white silk pajamas and they try to recreate the experiment without human DNA.
So we can investigate its vulnerabilities.
That'd be good.
First off, this whole idea, could help us out to know what she's capable of. Let's recreate it without the human part. So a second alien.
Yes.
How long does it take you to do this procedure? Marg can barely fucking puncture a cell with a fucking needle. Which is, by the way, it's not a balloon. That's not how that works. It goes whoop and goes right in. Pointy side first. Fucking idiots. This whole part is infuriating.
This whole part should have hit the cutting room floor because it's nonsensical, and B, it just doesn't need to be there. It's not part of the plot to this fucking movie.
Yeah. I gotta hear Sir Ben Kingsley, say it's protocol 7 times per minute in a 5-minute scene.
Yeah, we let them in to change out the camera. Oh no, Preston drops the bolt to the thing because he's a fucking numbnut. He drops the bolt through, of course, there's a graded floor. And now we can't close the thing, but I can't let you out. Even though the alien is like 1 inch by 1 inch big right now. I can't let you out because of protocol. Let us out.
Can't do that.
Please let us out.
I have to follow protocol. What protocol?
Why are you being an asshole?
Protocols!
And then when the alien's huge in the fucking thing, first of all, it looked like, you ever blow bubbles into chocolate milk? That's what this looked like. The alien's huge. It's growing through the walls. And now you let him out? Because Dan Smithson pulls you aside like, fuck you. And they hit the thing and let him out. So Syl finally puts some real clothes on, goes to the motel office to ask where to find a man. I need some D. And she goes to the club after giving the motel manager the credit card she stole from the conductor.
I gotta pause you here. She goes, where can I get a man? A seedy motel owner is going, right here. Come on. Let go. Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
This, like, the whole thing where she's like trying so hard because she doesn't know, and then it's just like, I'm gonna take my shirt off and walk around with my bra.
Yes.
And I still have to, like, make the first move on one of the most hideous men I've ever seen. He looks like the Russian mob boss from The Dark Knight.
Who's stupid enough to steal from us?
This dude is definitely drenched in Drakkar. So much so that when he takes her home, he's got to take a shower? I mean, who is he, fucking Tom Cruise? You got to take a shower immediately as soon as you get home?
First off, you've got a gland problem, homie, because he leaves in a convertible in the middle of the night in L.A. and is like, whew, I'm still sweaty from that club. How? You just drove from this fucking club back to your home in the hills, and you're like, I'm so sweaty. I got to go take a shower.
FYI, you should shower before you go to the club. Just throwing that out there. It's typically what I did. You shower before you go to the club so that in case something happens, you're not all stinky downstairs.
It's duly noted.
He gets out of the shower. She starts to go towards him. You think something's going to happen, but apparently she smells the diabetes on him.
So, you got diabetes.
She's like, no, you're gross because you have diabetes. And he understands. I mean, he literally says, like, listen, I understand the word no. I know what that means. But at this point in time, don't really give a fuck. I'm getting rapey. And she literally tongue fucks his skull and kills him.
The most moment in movie history was that guy being rapey.
Yeah.
There wasn't a thing about him that wasn't rapey.
You're right. It's fact.
This is what's so infuriating about movies. Is you take a woman that looks like Natasha and she makes out with the most hideous fucking chuds, and the best looking guy she gets in this is a full-on sex scene with Alfred Molina in your first movie.
Cut to the team tracking the credit card to the motel. And by the way, VHS tapes don't work like this. Enhance. That's not how VHS works.
I was laughing at that. Enhance what?
Enhance the shitty quality? Because that's all you're going to get. Shittier quality.
Close up to just pick up a magnifying glass and look at the TV screen. That's as good as it's going to get for enhancement.
They just miss her at the club because she left with dude. They find out who the dude is randomly. and they go to dude's house.
Captain Rapey is so fucking rapey that the bouncers at the club were like, oh yeah, Robbie left with the blonde. Again, it's a club in LA. They're all blonde, Chief. What are you talking about?
Okay, so the crew comes in, finds the dude's body, and they're figuring out that she's trying to mate because she menstruated on the toilet. It's so fucking random and stupid. And then there's more alien sex dreams that she has. She gets hit by a car because her car runs out of gas and then she's got to walk. She gets hit by a car. A good Samaritan, who happens to be a good-looking dude, takes her to the hospital. Doesn't know her name, doesn't know anything, and then gives the hospital his credit card to put her medical bills on? Bitch, I won't do that for my wife, let alone some chick that I just saw get hit by a car. What the fuck is going on? Listen, LA is one of the most selfish cities in America.
Oh my God.
Nobody's giving a credit card for some other lady's medical expenses.
We're skipping over the part 2 in the hospital where her shoulder blade magically repairs itself in front of the doctor.
Yeah.
And the doctor goes, what in tarnations? Your shoulder, your shoulder. Hey, you, what's going on with your shoulder? Do you see that shoulder? Somebody comes up and says, doctor, we got a trauma patient. Little kid's been burnt up. And he goes, your shoulder. All right, fuck it. Her shoulder just magically repaired itself. What are you doing?
She comes out. She's fine, apparently. And they go back to his place where they get, you have the hot tub scene. They're making out. And she starts taking his shorts off in the hot tub. To which his reply is,
Hey, that's a little fast.
No guy saying that.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, oh, I'm a good guy and I saved the girl and here's my credit card. That's a little fast. We should take it slow. Can we date for 3 months before we have the sexy times? That's not happening. Just FYI.
Dude, Pope Francis in this moment is going, yeah, put it in your mouth. And no guy is stopping this. No guy is stopping this.
So the crew then finds this dude because, credit cards again. And listen, you're not finding shit on credit cards, FYI, because I don't know if you noticed, but every time anybody uses a credit card in this thing, it's like, chunk, chink, carbon copy bullshit. You're not tracking shit, FYI, just to let you know. And by the way, in 95, those weren't a thing. Everybody
really,
had
no.
the slidey shits.
You're right again.
There was a few shitty like gas stations like out in the sticks where you'd have to use those things. But yeah, by and large, those didn't exist. And can we go back to then? Because that's when identity theft was so much easier.
I know, right? She hears them, senses them. They're knocking on the door, whatever. They come around. She turns full alien and tentacle nipples come out again. She's drowning the dude. She escapes again. And there's a couple of weird things about this whole scene. They're testing the hot tub for semen.
Criminologist says there's no evidence of semen in the hot tub water.
That quickly, huh? Okay.
That was fast.
Okay.
That was fast. How much does a normal man in 1995 ejaculate? Because
enough to fill up a hot tub, apparently. So you could take one. You could take one little tiny sample and go, yeah, no semen in this one. We're good.
Turns out it wasn't the wet ass pussy you needed the bucket and mop for.
No.
He bought a phone just for pictures of his wet ass pussy.
Then you have Dan Smithson, who is the clairvoyant, I can feel the feels. She's literally on the other side of the fence, and he can't sense that she's on the other side of the goddamn fence. Well, this dude is fucking useless. Drop him off at the local mini mart and just leave him. What the fuck is he there for?
He's as useless with his psychic abilities as Michael Madsen is when he clears a room with that fucking gun.
Yeah.
Michael Madsen trying to sweep a house or the sewers or any part of this movie with this gun. Jesus Christ. Let me tell you something. In the age of John Wick kind of accuracy you get with weapon play, watching this kind of shit is just infuriating. You look like a kid with a toy, bitch.
Yeah. Syl then kidnaps a woman, follows them to their hotel, so now she knows where they're staying. She has more weird alien sex dreams here. And then she starts to put the wheels in motion to her master plan to make pretend that she's dead so they'll stop following her. Where she cuts off her thumb, she cuts off the lady's thumb, and then as the crew goes to the club because they have no other leads on her, so they're like, yeah, she'll go back to the club and try to get that D again. She shows up because Dan Smithson feels the feels outside. He sees two bums fucking next to a dumpster, turns around, and then there's Syl. She runs away. They give chase. She runs her car into the little transformer, and she's got gasoline in the car. And the woman that she kidnapped is tied up. The car goes boom. She jumps out of the car before it hits the thing. And literally in 4 seconds, the guy who tested the sperm in the hot tub comes and like, hey.
I found what looks like a severed thumb in the pocket of one of the doors that got ripped off.
Totally her thumb. Must have gotten caught in the door. And there's a burned up, tied up bitch. So that must be her in the fucking car. What kind of fucking detective work are you doing in this movie? Because and FYI, she's in the passenger seat. What made you think that this burnt up bitch and tied up in the passenger seat was the goddamn alien driving the car? You dumbass. What the hell am I watching here? So then they go to the bar at like the hotel or whatever. They're having drinks to celebrate her death. At the beginning, they're like, I don't believe it. Michael Madsen's like, I don't think she's dead. Yep. And they're like, yeah, they're all very like, I don't think she's dead. 5 seconds later, they're like, yeah, that bitch is dead. What happened in the last 5 seconds that changed your mind? She's dead. Besides, Madsen wanted to get that Puna, and he goes up to the room. He goes and has sexy time with Laura. Syl changes,
which was pretty graphic for 95. I don't remember seeing just the open head given in a movie. Like it was like that and Single White Female. I think were the first two movies where it's like, well, that's unmistakably a blowjob.
But you have Syl who changes her look, right? She goes into the bar that they're at. Nobody recognizes her because all they have is, even though they have enhanced VHS footage, they still don't know what her face looks like. And all she does is change the color of her hair and cut it off a little bit. She follows Madsen
for no reason, because everyone thinks you're dead. They didn't know what you look like to begin with, except for the fact that you had blonde hair. But now they all think you're dead.
Yep.
Again, you're not the only blonde in LA.
Yes.
There's a lot of them. You're going to fit right in.
But she follows Madsen up to, like, gets in the elevator with him. Follows him up to the room. He bangs it out with Laura. She breaks into Molina's hotel room to listen through the wall. For what fucking reason?
Oh, she wants to warm it up because up to this point, she's not into foreplay. So she's got to warm up the car before you take off. However, she follows Madsen out the elevator, right? Michael Madsen is supposed to be this top-notch, secret operative, yada yada, assassin, blah blah bullshit.
Yes.
He can't sense her behind him. He's just like, something sounds fishy back there. Oh well, fuck it, pussy. And then he looks a second time. I knocked on the door. Thought I heard something over there. Pussy. Like, dude. And then, and to your credit again, the whole time he's like, you have your science, I have my gut. My gut says this isn't over.
You were correct.
He didn't have a gut feeling. He was grumpy because he hadn't dropped a fucking load in a couple of weeks. Once he released all the tension of alien hunting, he was like, oh no, she dead.
So Dan Smithson, after having a couple Long Island iced teas, and I don't drink, and this is iced tea, he goes to his room. He starts having the alien sex dreams, and he's like, oh, she's alive. Molina goes into his hotel room and finds Syl in there. He doesn't know what she looks like. And there's just a chick, a hot chick, in his room. She says, screw it, I guess this guy'll do, and gets naked. Yeah! Maybe at 25, I might not have had a ton of questions if there was just a random naked chick I didn't know in my room.
Yeah.
But as like a grown man, I got some fucking questions that there's just a random chick, in my room. She told you she broke into your room. She stole the key.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bitch you want to be hanging out with. Just FYI. And when you go to sleep, and forget the alien aspect of this movie, once you go to sleep, you might not wake up with kidneys, bro. You're going to wake up in an ice tub. So he has no questions. He's like Madsen. He saw the deadlights of them titties and was like, bro, I'm getting me some.
First off, Alfred Molina in this is by far the most sexually frustrated human being I've ever seen. Because all he talks about from Jump Street is wanting to get laid.
Yes.
However, this is where self-awareness as a human being comes into play.
Yep.
Because even me at 25, and at 25, I'd stick it in anything. I mean, literally anything. But even at 25, I knew who I was as a human being.
Yes.
So, again, Natasha is in that room, turns around, is like, I stole the key. I didn't want to come and talk to you. Blah, blah, blah. Boom, here are my boobs. I'm like, yo, get the fuck out. Because I look the way I look. You look the way you look. And it doesn't jive.
A similar story occurred in the state of New Jersey about 20 years ago.
Be self-aware. That's all you need. Just be self-aware. But they get done having sex. Dan Smithson says, the feels. He goes to the door, hears them having sex, knows that Syl's still alive, knows that she wants to get pregnant, but yet, again, this is another one of his fucking dumb fuck moments where he's just like, why bother them in the middle of sexy time? I'm going to go next door to Madsen and be like, hey, bro, she's alive and she's having sex with Dr. Arden next door. How about you just bust in the fucking door, you moron? But whatever. Madsen's like, let me get my fucking clothes on. First of all, he puts his pants on, no underwear. So I'm assuming he's raw dogging it the rest of this fucking movie. So whatever.
Oh, yeah.
When they get done, here's the other thing with the whole Molina Natasha sex scene. They get done having sex. She says,
I felt it. It started.
To which she starts laughing like, that's not a thing. Listen, the minute somebody says some shit like that, I'm like, you got to fucking go. You got to get out of here. Period.
I've never heard of the 3-minute delayed squirting orgasm. Like nothing has started. It's actually just all ended.
Why I got more fucking questions for that bitch. That's all I'm saying.
This is why. Here's another hot take for you kids out there. As a male, if the female doesn't excuse herself to go to the restroom exactly 30 seconds after sex, get the fuck up and go yourself, because you're about to get caught in a situation you don't want to be in.
Yes. But she's pregnant, and they have to kill her before she gives birth, right? They chase her down into the sewer. Dan Smithson does what Dan Smithson does. He's like, oh, she went this way. But then he sees the bubbles in the water. He knows it's her, says nothing, and Finch fucking eats it here.
He's like our dude in The Thing, the chef who just walks into the thing with his mouth agape.
Yeah.
Like, that's all Forrest Whitaker does is like, oh, bubbles. 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 Next scene, Finch gets eaten.
Yes. Syl goes in to give birth. She hides to give birth. And the noises that come out of her in this, like, they find like the little crack and they go through and they're in this like cavern, whatever. With the noises she's making, they don't hear shit. I am this from here. It was funny until now. Now it gets infuriating because she's making all these noises. They don't hear shit. And they split up. And then Dan sees a little kid. Okay, you know there's an alien You know the gestation period is very short. You know that she basically became a 13-year-old within like a week of being born, or like 3 days or whatever it was. Then you see a kid covered in strawberry jam, and you're just like, oh, come here, kid. Yeah.
Nobody's gonna hurt you. You come here.
Light that motherfucker up on fire. You got blowtorches. The hell is your problem? No.
Yeah. First of all, they use those blowtorches sparingly. You need to be blowtorching shit like Ripley does in Aliens. And by that I mean
see something
everything.
Move. Yes.
What is it? I don't know, because it's on fire. That's my response for what is that?
I don't care if there's a bum down there. I don't care if it's rats, a dog, a fucking human. I don't give a shit. Everything outside of us three is on fire.
Yes, it is.
He sees the kid. He doesn't light him on fire. Syl jumps out, full alien, and Dan Smithson aims the blowtorch. Like, he's trying to look down the scope of the blow. Bro, hit the trigger and light that bitch up. That's all that needs to happen. No, he's got to aim, and then he kicks her over. She flies into the oil. So he's hanging over. Laura and Michael Madsen save Dan Smithson. And then it's jokey time?
Let go, you motherfucker.
So many of these movies, these action-y sci-fi movies, are the ending or the climax is centered around a good one-liner. And then the termination of whatever. Hasta la vista, baby. Fucking get away from her, you bitch, etc. I said let go, motherfucker, is by far the worst line ever written, ever delivered by anyone in a movie ever.
Yeah! So he shoots her. She's on fire in the oil, whatever. And then they just leave the sewer? And nobody mentions the fucking baby that they saw in the goddamn cavern? Again, Dan Smithson doing a disservice to everybody in this movie by like not going, hey, I saw a like 3 or 4-year-old walking around in the cave. He was covered in jelly. Nothing? You got nothing for me.
Yes.
And then the end is it turns into a rat that eats another. Get the fuck. There's not even a rat in the second species. What the fuck are you doing?
I don't know.
That shit pissed me off. I know we got to do it, but for me, this doesn't hold up because this is a trash can of a movie.
Oh yeah, it's not about standing the test of time with this. It's just, how did this get put on film?
Dude,
how did this get greenlit? The only thing I will ever say good about this movie is it brought the world Natasha. Yes. And as far as I am concerned, the day she wants to accept my marriage proposal, I'm still ready. I think I asked her when I was 16 when this movie came out. Still haven't heard anything, but I'm holding out hope.
The idea of this movie, like the premise, is really good. This is another movie that I'm like, God, if they just did X, Y, and Z with it, it could have been such a... I mean, it was, what, a 35 million, 65 million, and a $35 million budget.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, I think...
It's not like it didn't have...
I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong here. This was right around the time when, like, Basic Instinct was out, Jade was out, all of these, like, weird throwback noir B-rated sex movie stories were kind of coming out. And I feel like somebody was really attempting to do that with sci-fi.
Yeah.
And it was a mess.
Listen, this was like silk stockings with sci-fi. That's what this was. It was fucking terrible.
Yeah. It wasn't even Red Shoe Diaries.
No,
like David Duchovny would not be reading this story.
It was like if X-Files and Silk Stockings had a baby. That's what this movie would be. And it's not good. It's terrible for everything. From the choices made by the director to the writing. The only thing that was good were the actual actors in the movie, but even some of them didn't even do a good job. Like,
they didn't give a fuck, dude.
No, Ben Kingsley mailed this shit in. He looked like he didn't even want to be there half the time. And he was like, I'm the check cleared, right? Like, I'm good to go?
Yes.
They were like, cut, can we do another take? No, you got what you got, and let's fucking move on.
Yep.
But other than that, I don't have anything else. I don't want to spend any more time on this movie. Do you have anything else?
No, this movie's fucking, it's trash. It's just trash.
Yes.
And it breaks my heart because, like you said, I love the actors in it.
Yeah.
They're all fantastic. They all do great work outside of this movie and should be seen in other movies than this. But fuck, dude, it's so bad. This is how much we love our viewers.
Yes. It was suggested, and we aggravated ourselves again and did it. So.
Yep. Next time, just take it easy on us and ask us to play Russian roulette, will you?
So, for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1995's Species.
I said certified free, 7 days a week.